So a man has spent $62,000 on the free-to-play game RuneScape. I just want to reiterate again, this is a free-to-play game, no upfront cost. The company has reported that 33% of its revenues come from these microtransactions, while the other 2/3 come from an alternative subscription model. However, this third of revenue that does stem from microtransactions is made up entirely from just 10% of their player base. So these are like the whales of RuneScape, I guess. We talk about microtransactions and loot boxes a lot on this show. It's like one of the topics that we really hit on. I don't know. How do you feel about this? It seems almost unfathomable, doesn't it? $62,000 on a free-to-play game. When did this game even come out? RuneScape.
A long time ago.
18 years ago.
19 Dickety 2.
Yeah.
You like that?
That's more than my college debt. $62,000.
Me too, Nick.
That's more than a lot of people's annual salaries. Like, oh my god, man. To each their own, I suppose, but it's like
no, like this guy didn't even have the money. It
Right.
put him and his family in like major debt. I was reading the story. Like it wasn't like it was just some rich kid that like had $10 million and just blew 62K on RuneScape. Like they didn't have the money, and like he just blew it anyway.
Well, that's where you get and fall into this.
He was in the UK, Nick.
Tell me that anybody with any sense is going to do that unless they have a gambling problem or like an issue with money. Like that is obviously an issue that guy has. If he knew he didn't have the money and was still spending.
Yeah. He couldn't. I don't think you can be very mentally clear there and make those purchases. I mean, it's obviously at some point you have to recognize how much money you're spending, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think. That's a lot of money. It's not like $10,000. That's $62,000.
Yeah,
there
man. Should
be a cap or something. I mean, then again, I don't think RuneScape's going to put an own cap on their microtransactions, but 62,000. That is wow.
I guess I don't even really want to bring this up because the answer is going to be like no, and even the answer for me is going to be no. But it just begs the question, like, does a company have a responsibility to say like, hey, this guy's spent like 20 grand on loot boxes in the past 3 months? Like maybe we should like tell him not to spend any more money. I mean, I know it goes against their interest, but like at some point, like, is there a limit to where you say like, listen, like this isn't okay. Like this isn't how we wanted to make money. We're cool with people spending money. We obviously we encourage them to, but 62K is a little bit much.
Yeah.
Like we're ruining lives here. I don't know.
The sentiment's nice there, but well, I mean, yeah. I don't know if you were going to say how you're going to. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Josh, but well, I mean, it's kind of like an invasion of what do you do? Like look up the guy's address and go to his house, call him up. It's like kind of.
I know.
Deny his credit card or something.
That's why I said the answer would be no, and like obviously I fucking care either. But
I like it. I like it. Do they have a responsibility? Do I think they have a responsibility? Maybe they should.
I can get on with Matt. I mean, like, what is there some fucking RuneScape loan shark out there? Like, how did he get that amount of money? Like, how do you can't open that many credit cards? You have credit limits. You have overdraft fees in a bank account. How the fuck does this happen? Like Matt's saying, how does this happen? Like,
maybe if you trade in your Minecraft diamonds, there's like some kind of ratio there where
you're dust.
Christ.
Trade to the villagers.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying though? Like, what? That's what I'm saying. Like, there had to be some loan shark, like RuneScape loan shark guy. It's just like, yeah.
Or okay, I guess another question is like, if somebody has a mental issue and they're like not okay, which obviously this person was not. Like, should they be allowed to? Like, are you allowed to gamble, Dave? If you're like, a little bit.
I don't see why not.
Apparently,
I guess you can, yeah.
Well, because like, I mean, that's like kind of like restricting your rights. Like, you have the right to do it if it's like you have some kind of mental deficiency or disorder. Like, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like a normal, like, I don't know. For me, with that kind of shit, I always err on the side of like like you make your own decisions. You're an autonomous human. You know the consequences of things. You know that if you spend 60 grand on a fucking game in a year, you're probably gonna fuck up your life. And if you're not capable of making those decisions on your own, then you're probably in some kind of care where you have some kind of guardian or legal, you know what I mean, legal, whatever the fuck word you want to use. That's somebody that should be watching over you and be like, hey, listen, little Timmy, like you can't spend fucking 60 grand. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for like you got to learn from your mistakes. And if you have a mental illness where you're spending $60,000 and like ruining your life, I feel like it probably should have been diagnosed at some point, or like you should have some kind of like authority over you that protects
I
you.
agree. I side on individual liberty too, but the two times I don't is if it's a young kid,
Sure,
that doesn't know any better, and we've already talked about this. It's the parent's responsibility. I agree, but like young kids are really prone to this kind of shit. And then if you have a mental instability where maybe you don't know what you're doing, or you have this very, very addictive personality or something, or like really strong depression where like you're spending all this money on these games, that's kind of a gray area for me. I think I need to think that out a little bit more to like find out where I do lie, but it just seems a little bit predatory, and I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It's a little bit
like Josh was saying. Most people can't just pull 60 grand out of their ass. Like, it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like you can get like a normal person, if you go get a credit card, they're gonna give you like a $10,000 or $15,000 limit, unless you're like some kind of fucking, you know what I mean? That's like a normal credit card amount. So how the fuck did you get 60 grand? Like, I don't know. That's hard to me. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but like it just seems
maybe it's something in the UK, because I mean I don't think you could do it.
I'm just saying, like in America, if like you don't have that much money to begin with, it's going to be hard to. I mean, I guess you could open like 10 different credit cards, but like I don't know. It just
I don't think you have even. I think you'd have to earn a 15, even if it was just let's just say hypothetically, you'd have to earn a $15,000 to $20,000 credit. Like I have good credit, I don't have a credit that I can take that much money out on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do it. Like how did it happen? Unless like what Matt's saying, like the UK or sorry, Wolf said, the UK is different. Like you can't. Your bank won't let you overdraft that much money.
I mean, maybe he had the money, but like it was just all his money. I don't know if he opened up like credit lines or, you know, maybe he had 62K, but like he only had 62K. I don't know.
It seems strange, yeah.
Yeah, just I don't know. Like I feel like if you make that mistake, you're on your own. Because like even if you're a kid or like you have a mental illness, to like spend that much money. If you have a mental illness and you can make that much money to just blow it on a video game, like
good point. That's a good point. I didn't put those two together. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like there's no kid that can spend 60 grand. I'm sure their parents would be like cutting them off before they got to 60 grand. You know what I mean? You spend a couple $100, your parents would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, the article here says, I'm sorry, significant financial harm. What's that even really mean? I mean, he could have had.
He had to just rack shit up on credit cards or something. I don't know.
This guy just opened 10 credit cards just to play RuneScape.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Free to play game, but I wonder what his character stats were like. They must be
Iron Man legend.
That's a great question, actually. He had to have been number one, right?
You would hope.
He was number one.
If he wasn't, man. What's that say about your game if you can pour $62,000 into it and not be the best?
What's that say about your game if you even can spend $62,000?
It's free.
But I feel like at some point, like, haven't you already got?
Oh, and like, okay,
where's the limit, right? It's like you spend $1,000
that much money. Do you know how long it would take to like open all the shit that you bought?
Well, he's still opening. He's still opening to this day. Yeah,
that's like a full-time fucking job. If you got to open all that shit for 62 grand, where you'd be there for a fucking year.
How about the interest? It's like a freaking mortgage.
He should have just streamed it all. Then he would have recouped all that money. He would have had some kind of following watching him.
If your Twitch title is $62,000 spent on microtransaction on RuneScape, you're gonna have a bazillion viewers.
Yeah.
To watch your stupid ass fuck it up.
When I was this new Twitch affiliate program, the affiliates get ad revenue now. They get $3.50 per 1,000 viewers. So you got to think you're racking in what, $7, $10.50.
Damn, dude.
I mean,
An
you're really
hour or a day.
no, like a month.
Oh, a month. Golly.
All right.
We're gonna talk about that next week. We're gonna talk about
Get
that
me out of
next week.
RuneScape. Get me out of here.
Mike, Dave.
Beam me up.